The gods with their power are already formidable entities, but what happens when these divinities are granted weapons and relics of unimaginable powers? In this video, we will discover the most powerful mystical objects in Greek mythology. Imagine learning something new every day without having to sacrifice your time to get it. The most important information is found in extensive books of several pages, and I understand that it can be frustrating, either because you are lazy to read, because you have children, or because your work demands a lot from you. Luckily today, this problem has an easy solution. With a catalog of more than 90,000 titles, Audible gives you the ability to consume your audiobook without an internet connection, wherever and whenever you want. Audible gives you a free audiobook every month with the monthly subscription, so it's the same as if you were buying a book a month. And best of all, if you cancel your monthly, the books will remain stored in your library forever. Win your first audiobook with the 1-month free trial in the link below in the description, and if you already have Amazon Prime, you will receive 3 months totally free. Number 1. The Helm of Darkness. The history of the Helm of Hades dates back to the tumultuous era of the Titanomachy, an epic war between gods and titans for control of the cosmos. It was in this time of chaos and conflict, when the gods of Olympus were fighting for their survival against the ancient titans, that the Helm of Darkness, also known as the Helm of Hades, was born. Hephaestus, the master of the forge, a god known for his unparalleled craftsmanship and his skill in creating divine artifacts, was the one who forged the helmet. His ingenuity and skill were tested to the fullest as he worked the divine metal under the roar of his hammer. Each blow, each fold of the material, infused more and more of his divinity, until finally, the Helm of Darkness was born. He was given to the Cyclopes, one-eyed beings known for their enormous strength and legendary endurance. It was the Cyclops who, under the direction of Hephaestus, completed the job and imbued it with his dark magic, endowing it with his famous power, the ability to grant its wielder perfect invisibility. The Helm of Darkness was gifted to Hades, the lord of the underworld, as part of divine spoils after the gods finally defeated the Titans. With this powerful artifact, Hades could reign over his shadowy realm in complete safety, unseen by the countless souls under his command. The darkness became his shield and his sword, allowing him to move undetected by friend or foe. The helmet also became a valuable tool on the rare occasions when Hades had to leave his underground domain. The power of the helm allowed him to move among mortals and other gods undetected, influencing events from the shadows and leaving his mark on the world of the living without anyone knowing of his presence. Number 2. Hippolytas Belt. The Belt of Hippolyta, Queen of the Amazons, is an object of great relevance in Greek mythology. In reality, the belt is believed to have been more likely a shield or military sash, a symbol of power and authority that Hippolyta, as leader of the Amazons, wore with pride. The Amazons were a tribe of female warriors, famous for their bravery and skills in battle, who lived in a matriarchal society and where men were relegated to secondary roles. This belt of power, woven of gold and studded with jewels, was not only a demonstration of Hippolyta's majesty and status, but also an emblem of her strength and martial skill, worthy of a leader whose reign was marked by courage and the bravery. The history of Hippolytas Belt is intertwined with the legend of Hercules and his famous 12 labors. Well, you know, Hercules is the name given to him in Rome and Heracles in Greece. But since he is better known as Hercules, I will use that name. And by the way, if you want to see the history of his 12 labors, go to the channel. The 9th of these labors required Hercules to steal Hippolyta's belt to give it to King Eurystheus's daughter. Hercules, armed with his cunning and his superhuman strength, embarked on his journey to the kingdom of the Amazons. The story differs in some accounts, but the most common version says that Hercules was received friendly by Hippolyta, who was impressed by his strength and bravery. However, the peaceful interaction descended into chaos when Hera, in her constant animosity towards Hercules, disguised her appearance and infiltrated the Amazons, spreading rumors that Hercules intended to kidnap his queen. In the ensuing confrontation, Hercules was forced to fight the Amazons, and during the fight, he killed Hippolyta, taking her belt from her. He managed to escape and return to his homeland, thus completing his 9th job. Number 3. Lyre of Orpheus. The lyre of Orpheus is one of the most emblematic relics of Greek mythology. This lyre was no ordinary object, but a divine instrument, imbued with a wondrous and fascinating power that transcended the human world. The story begins with Orpheus, the son of the muse Calliope, and according to some versions, of the god Apollo. His father gave him the lyre and taught him how to play it. But it was not just the teaching of a father that allowed Orpheus to create heavenly music. The lyre itself was a divine object, a gift from the gods, created by Hermes himself and perfected by Apollo. Orpheus's lyre was a magical instrument whose music could not only move humans, but also nature and mythical creatures. Orpheus could make trees dance, rivers change course, and wild beasts become docile. Orpheus's lyre is particularly famous for its role in Orpheus's attempt to rescue his wife Eurydice from the underworld. Orpheus played his lyre with such sadness and beauty that even the hard hearts of Hades and Persephone softened, and they allowed Eurydice to follow Orpheus back to the world of the living, as long as he did not look back until they were both out of the underworld. The music of Orpheus's lyre symbolizes beauty, passion, and the power of art to move hearts and minds, and even challenge the gods. Number 4. Trident of Poseidon. The Trident of Poseidon, a transcendental weapon in Greek mythology, is the very embodiment of the dominion of Poseidon, the god of the sea, over waters and earthquakes. This divine artifact, more than being a simple weapon, is an emblem of authority and power that reflects the unleashed force of the seas and oceans. Conceived deep within the divine forges of the Cyclops, the trident was a gift to Poseidon during the war against the Titans. Forged from the most robust and sacred metals and imbued with the maritime powers of divinity, the trident embodies the majesty and terror of the deep sea. The shape of the trident with its 3 points symbolizes many triumvirates in Greek mythology, but is most commonly associated with Poseidon's rule over 3/4 of the world, the oceans surrounding the earth. Poseidon wielded it to cause storms and earthquakes, sink ships, and control sea beasts. It was said that by striking the ground with his trident, Poseidon could make springs of salt water emerge. The trident is a physical manifestation of the irrepressible power of the sea. When Poseidon shakes the trident at him, the oceans stir, the waves rise, and the seas part before him. Likewise, when he slams it into the earth itself shakes, showing Poseidon's connection to earthquakes. One of the most famous stories involving the trident is the dispute between Poseidon and Athena over the city of Athens. Both gods offered a gift to the city, and the god with the most useful gift would become the city's patron. Poseidon struck the earth with his trident, and a spring of salt water gushed out of it. Although it was an impressive sight, the salt water was of no use to the city's inhabitants. Athena, on the other hand, introduced the olive tree, which provided food, oil, and wood. Athena was chosen as the patron saint of the city, which was named after her ever since. Number 5. Thyrsus of Dionysus. In the pantheon of Greek deities, Dionysus, the god of wine and divine madness, carried a symbol of his power, the Thyrsus. The history of this sacred object is intertwined with the life of its owner, embodying the wild energy and intoxicating euphoria that Dionysus unleashed in mortals and gods alike. In ancient Greece, when the gods walked among men and the mysteries of life were dictated by divine whims, Dionysus, born of the mortal Semele and the almighty Zeus, was a god like no other. He did not have a palace on Mount Olympus. He preferred to wander the mortal world, bringing with him the joy of wine and the release of Dionysian ecstasy. Among the sacred objects of Dionysus, the Thyrsus was the most emblematic. It was not a simple staff, but a staff crowned with a pine cone, wrapped in ivy and sometimes tangled with ribbons. It was a representation of fertility and vegetation, as well as transformation and liberation. The Thyrsus was more than a symbol. It was an extension of Dionysus's power. When he brandished it at the bacchanals, the frenetic celebrations in honor of the god, the participants found themselves thrown into a state of ecstasy, freed from their inhibitions and given over to dance and wild joy. The energy of the Thyrsus was such that the mere sight of Dionysus brandishing it could unleash divine madness, causing men to forget their duties and women to abandon their looms to join the god's frenetic dance. But the Thyrsus also had a darker side. It represented the duality of Dionysus, the balance between euphoria and madness, joy and terror. Those who rejected or insulted Dionysus found that the Thyrsus could be a weapon, a tool of punishment for those who did not respect the rites and festivities of the god of wine. Thus, the Thirstus of Dionysus became a legend, an object of desire, fear, and reverence. Like its owner, it was wild and free, capable of unleashing the deepest passion and the most absolute terror. Over the centuries, his story has been told and retold, a reminder of the irrepressible energy and divine madness that Dionysus brings to the mortal world. Number 6. Thunderbolt of Zeus. Zeus's lightning bolt is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful and symbolic objects in Greek mythology. It is not simply a weapon, it is the pure manifestation of the supremacy of Zeus, the god of the sky and the king of all gods. The lightning bolt, also known as the divine radiance, was forged deep within the earth by the three Cyclops, Bronte, Steropes, and Arges, as a gift of gratitude to Zeus for freeing them from the prison in which their father Uranus had locked them up. Composed of the pure energy of the storm, this fearsome weapon not only represents the authority of Zeus, but also embodies his dominion over the sky and the weather. The form and power of the lightning bolt are symbolic representations of the wrath and justice of Zeus. When he wields it, the sky darkens, thunder rolls, and lightning illuminates the sky, announcing his wrath and his might. The fearsome electrical storms are the expression of his divine will, and the lightning bolts are the arrows with which he punishes the disobedient and the wicked. Greek myths are filled with tales of Zeus using his thunderbolt to deliver justice. He used it to defeat the Titans in the Titanic War and to punish Prometheus for stealing fire and giving it to humans. In the hands of Zeus, the lightning bolt is not only a fearsome weapon, but also a tool of justice, used to maintain order and balance in the cosmos. Before you see the last top, a good way to show your support is by liking, leaving a comment, and above all, sharing this video with your friends. Let's continue. Number 7. Thread of Life of the Moirai. Few entities were as respected and even feared as the Moirai. Also known as the Fates in Roman mythology, these three sisters, Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos, wove the destiny of every mortal and divine being. Clotho, the youngest of the sisters, spun the thread of life on her spinning wheel. The length and quality of the thread determined the length and nature of each individual's life. With each turn of her spinning wheel, Clotho gave life to the newborns, weaving grandiose destinies for some and modest ones for others, without distinction of race or status. Lachesis, the middle sister, measured the thread. With her staff, she marked the important events in each being's life, as well as the duration of his existence. Lachesis's decisions were fair and impartial, no matter how many pleas or promises were made to her. Finally, there was Atropos, the oldest and most feared of the sisters. With her sharp scissors, she cut the thread of life, determining the end of each existence. Her decision was irrevocable. Once she decided to cut the thread, nothing and no one could prevent death. The thread of life of the Moirai was more than just a representation of an individual's existence. It was a manifestation of his destiny, every detail of his life carefully woven, measured, and cut by the sisters. From the humblest peasant to the greatest of gods, all were subject to the will of the fates.